guys, it's Mike and I'm back with more Tesla content for you. So if you seen my last video, you know that I just picked up a 2021 Tesla Model 3 Performance, and today I'm gonna give you 40 reasons why I chose to buy a Tesla over my dream car, the Porsche Cayman 718 GTS. If you haven't seen my previous video, make sure to check it out over here. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so before I begin, I just want to briefly speak on my car journey leading up to the Tesla. So since my 20s, I've always had a thing for sporty cars. I went from an Eclipse GSX to a Jetta and then to a Mercedes C-Class. But it wasn't until 2016 when I purchased my Alfa Romeo 4C that really made me fall in love with fast and exotic cars. I did everything with that Alfa, from going on rallies, being in car shows, even taking it to the track to race along Porsches and Lambos. This car brought so much joy into my life, but unfortunately, due to its poor reliability, the transmission failed multiple times and I was forced to sell the car. After I sold it, I still had my C300 as a daily, but it was time for an upgrade. By this time, I became a lot more responsible financially and decided to stick with just one car. So I upgraded my previous C300 to the latest model at the time. After having that car for a little over just a year, I grew to hate literally everything about it. From the underwhelming performance, to the ride quality, to the expensive maintenance, to the poor sound system, gas mileage, and having to use strictly premium gas. So here I was again on the search for a new car that I would be 100% happy with. When I had my Alfa, I joined a car club and spent lots of time around Porsches, to the point where I became obsessed with them, and I had to have one no matter what. While on the hunt for a new car, it was all I could think about. I was able to finally comfortably afford one, and I just had to get it. My pick, it was the 718 GTS. Even though it was a two-door sports car that wasn't practical at all, I was trying to convince myself all the ways to make it work. And that was it. I was getting my Porsche. But during this time, me and my girlfriend set out to do some car shopping and happened to find out there was a Tesla dealership right up the road. Now, I've always thought Teslas was cool, but I couldn't really see myself in one, especially since I didn't know anything about them besides they were electric and can drive themselves. So we stopped in to take a look, and the first thing that surprised me was how good these cars look in person from the pictures. Words just can't even explain. But it wasn't until I seen the performance models with the sexy black trim, the sporty look with the 20-inch blacked out rims, carbon fiber spoiler, that made me really fall in love. So I immediately scheduled a test drive. I came back to drive the car, and that was it. I had my heart set on it. The car was just too cool and beautiful not to have. So right after the test drive, I immediately put my order in for the car, and since I had to wait a few weeks for delivery, I figured I could do some more research and then I can cancel it if it wasn't right for me. So without further ado, here are 40 reasons why I chose the 2021 Model 3 Performance over the 718 GTS. Okay, so we're gonna break this video up into different sections. So each section is gonna have a few reasons why I wanted to buy this car. In total, we're gonna have 40, but we're gonna break it up into a few sections, all right? So let's go. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to get into is the looks and the quality of this car. The number one thing I liked about the car as far as looks is its unique design. There are no cars on the road that look like a Tesla. When you see a Tesla, you know it's a Tesla. It's the most futuristic looking, at the same time sporty looking car. Like when you see it from the front, it's like this aggressive spaceship coming at you. When you see it from the side, it's like this sleek, sexy luxury car. And then when you see it, you know, from the back, it has that big wide ass, as people would like to say, with the sporty carbon fiber spoiler on the back. It's just a beautiful looking car. So that's one of the things that I really love about this car. Next is like the paint on this car. There's an option when you buy a Tesla to go with the blue or the red or the gunmetal gray. I'm not sure if it's called gunmetal gray, but these colors, they cost more. They cost like $1,000 extra to get these colors. And me, all my cars have been white, but there's no car that I've ever owned with a white like this. Even my Alfa Romeo was a pearl white, but this white on this Tesla, it's tri-coated and it's a pearl white, but it looks ridiculous in person. When the sun hits it, it just shines so bright. It looks so clean, and you can see the pearl. Like most cars with pearl, you can't really see the pearl all that good, but this one you can see. And then when the shadows hit the car, there's so many different lines, like the body of the car, that pops out with this white paint that you don't see with the black, or you don't see with the red or the blue. And the good thing about it was I didn't have to pay that $1,000 extra. This, I think, is the best color on the car, and it comes standard on the car. So that's another thing. The paint is just ridiculous on this car. The next thing, as far as looks, is the rims on this car. The rims and the wheels. So they're 20-inch blacked out Uber turbine is what they're called wheels. Some people like them, some people don't like them, but I realize that the people who don't like them see them in videos and be like, ew, or see them in pictures and be like, oh my god, no. But these wheels are sick. Again, like no other car ever seen on the road. They look like a turbine, like a jet engine on a big commercial airline. That's exactly what they look like. And they're not black, they're like a gunmetal black. It's just crazy. So, and then also they're wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires, which are good tires if you want to do some racing or if you want to go to the track, because they're pretty grippy. And it looks sick on the car. Like, people ask me all the time, wow, did you upgrade those rims? I'm like, nah, these came stock with the Tesla and they look fire. So that's another thing that I love about the car. Next is the interior on this car. Again, in person, ridiculous. So I have the white on black version. It comes in either white on black or black on black with a wood trim on the dashboard. Mine has all white dash, white seats. And when I say white, people think, oh yeah, they're like an off-white or they're like a cream color. No, these are white, just like the outside of the car. And it just makes the car look so big, so fresh, so airy. It's just ridiculous in here. Like, every time I get in this car, I'm like, wow, it's just crazy. It just blows me away how good this car looks. Even when you're standing outside and looking through the window in this car, people double take at the interior. I notice people look more at the interior of this car than they do on the outside of this car. They're like, holy looking inside, trying to see like, wow, this guy really has white seats. Another thing you will never find in any other car, and it's sick. And the cool thing about the white seats is you can actually take a bottle of wine and pour them on these seats and it will not stain them whatsoever. So they've been coated with some kind of special material, and all you have to do to clean them is take a baby wipe and wipe it off. I had this car for about a week so far, and I've been to the gym, like I've sweated, and there has been no stains, nothing on these white seats. They look white like if I just bought it from the dealership, and it's been a week with me driving this car constantly. So that's another thing I love about the car. Besides the seats, you have this sleek looking minimalistic car. So me, I'm very minimalistic when it comes to everything. I like to wear plain black and white shirts. My shoes, I own like 4 pair of shoes. I keep them black, white, gray, simple. I don't like too much junk in the way. I don't like things too cluttered. And my past car, which was the C300, it was beautiful. It looked nice inside, but there was so many buttons everywhere. Like, there's buttons all over the place. Like, what do you need all these buttons for? So when I'm in this car and I'm driving, all I have to do is strictly focus on the road. That's it. If I want to turn the music up, right on the steering wheel, 1 button, easy. The screen on this car is a 15-inch screen. It's crazy. Like, why is this in a car? It's bigger than my iPad Pro that I have. Everything is just beautiful, clean, luxurious. And the materials in this car, you would think, like, since it's so plain, like it's cheap kind of feeling. No, everything in this car is strictly premium level. And I got the premium package with this car. So you have white stitching on the black vegan leather is what they call it, because they don't do animal cruelty, which is a big plus. The steering wheel feels so nice. It's so comfortable, so plush. It just feels like when you hold on to it, you're driving like a Rolls Royce or something like that. And you might think I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not. And this leather is everywhere on the car. It's just beautiful. I love it so much. The next thing I love about this car is the roof. It's a panoramic glass roof. That means the entire top of this car, there's no aluminum, there's no steel. It's strictly glass from front to back. Like, it goes from here all the way back. There's a pillar here right in the middle, but over this pillar it's still glass. Then it goes all the way back from the roof to the back window. Like, that's crazy. No other car, I've never seen that. So there's no pillar in the back, there's no back window. The window is a part of the roof. So the visibility is crazy. Like, when you're in this car, you can look around and it feels like you're outside no matter what. Windows all the way up, it still feels like I'm outside. I can see everything, and it's just beautiful when you're driving. When the sun is coming in, it just lights up the whole car. It makes the car feel fresh, airy, and it's just beautiful, this car. The interior, perfect. That's one of the reasons why I bought this car over the Porsche. All right, so next we're gonna get into the entertainment and the features on this car, which are crazy. So like I mentioned, the screen is a 15-inch touchscreen, right? Basically, the screen that's in the middle of the car controls your entire car. There's no buttons anywhere else on this car besides the door buttons and the buttons on the steering wheel. That's it. Everything is controlled through the screen, which is really convenient because it's right in your face. It's 15 inches, bigger than my iPad. The buttons are visible. Everything is just touch, 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 boom. But the entertainment that this thing has on it is just crazy. One of the things that I like about this car is that when I bought it, I got free 1 year of service, cell phone service, LTE 4G. So that means I do not need my phone to go on the internet. I do not need my phone to listen to Pandora. I do not need my phone. Everything gets transmitted right to this car, right to the screen. So as far as entertainment, it's crazy. I can watch Netflix in this car. I can watch Hulu. I can watch YouTube. I can even go on the internet, on an internet browser, and go to a website and use the website like if I'm sitting at home on my computer. It's just ridiculous that this stuff is in a car. It comes with its own streaming music service, which has a bunch of songs just like Apple Music and Spotify, and it comes included. I don't have to pay anything per month for this service on this car. And it also has other things, like if you're on a road trip, you can do karaoke on the car. Like you can pick a song, play karaoke, and it will turn the screen into a karaoke machine with the lyrics on the road. So that way when you're on these long road trips, you can do karaoke with your family, friends, whoever's in the car, and make the time go by much faster. Also, there's some, fun things about the car. It has a toy box where you can actually make beats in this car. I'm a audio engineer, and you can actually produce songs on an app in this car. It's just like, what other car has this in the car? And there's also a bunch of other things. There's some funny things where you can make fart sounds on whichever seat you want to choose. And when someone gets in the car, you can make it fart just from that seat. You can play the horn from outside of the car, and you can make it sing a song if you want. You can change the horn to any kind of weird horn. You want to make it a clown horn, you can make it a clown horn. I've heard people play it and it's like the that's another thing that's cool about this car. All these different features, the maps and the navigation, crazy. It's big, huge, tells you turn by turn. It uses Google Maps, so you already know you got a good, reliable map service on this car. Speaking of entertainment, the sound system. So as I mentioned before, I'm an audio engineer, a professional audio engineer, and I know my sound systems and what things are supposed to sound like. I know when there's a good quality sound system in a car and when there's just not a good quality sound system in the car. And this sound system in this car is ridiculous. It has 14 speakers, one huge subwoofer, and 2 amps to power everything. And the craziest thing about this system is you can turn it up all the way, super loud, and it's crisp as day. There's no distortion. The bass doesn't rattle your car. It's this smooth, thick, thumping bass. Like if I have a sound system installed in my car, I've never heard anything in a car as good as this. 14 speakers surrounding you with surround sound. It's just ridiculous in this car, and it's something that I can't get enough of. Next, we're going to talk about the convenience of this car. Crazy. Again, I know I keep using the word crazy, but that's exactly what it is. So, like I said before, the thing that I like about this car with convenience is that it's minimal. There's no extra effort to figure out what button does what this button does. Does this button turn on the heated seats? Does this button turn on the windshield wipe? Like, what is all this stuff? It's all right on your screen. There's only 2 buttons on the steering wheel. You got your door handle buttons and window buttons on the door. That's it. Super convenient. I think that's like a huge plus in my book. The next thing I like about the car, it has auto lock on it. So say for instance, I'm driving my car, I get to where I gotta go, and I do not have to worry about locking the car. I don't have to worry about turning off the AC. I don't have to worry about turning off the music. I don't have to worry about turning off the screen. I don't have to worry about turning off the interior lights that I have on. When I get out the car and walk away from my car, it automatically locks it, turns everything off, and it saves where it was last. So when I come back to my car, it automatically unlocks, and then everything starts right from where it was before. Say I had a song playing when I left and I was in the store for 30 minutes. I come back out, get in my car, the music automatically turns on, turns back up to where I had it, and starts playing the song exactly where it left off. It'll turn on my lights. If I had the AC on, it'll turn the AC right back on. It'll turn the heated seats back on. And It knows when you're back in and when you're back out, and it also knows who's driving the car. So you can set up a profile to have another person with their own settings drive the car, and when they get in the car, it knows it's them and it puts their settings right back to where it was. Super convenient. Love it. The next thing we're going to talk about as far as convenience is the biggest thing that people buy Teslas for. No gas stations. No gas. Completely electric. So I never have to go to a gas station. I hate it. I hate running out of gas and having to find a gas station and then wait in line when it's packed, touching all the dirty handles, credit card machines, having to swipe your card, doesn't work in the machine, got to go inside. Or when it's freezing cold out, you have to go get gas and you have to stand there for like 5 minutes pumping the gas. I never have to go through any of that ever again. So during my research, when I had my C300, it cost about $3.26 to drive 25 miles with the C300 that I had. The Tesla, it costs 97 cents. So it saves me about $1,350 on gas per year. That's $112 per month that I'm not spending on gas, just charging my car. And compared to the Cayman, if I were to get that car, I'd be saving $150 per month on gas. It's just ridiculous. Super convenient, no gas. Go home, plug the car in, let it charge, wake up in the morning, car's charged. Don't ever have to worry about gas ever again. Love it. The next thing is the continuous updates on this car. So your car is like your iPhone. It gets updates to make the car better. So say you have the 2016 Mercedes whatever, right? Every 4 years they make another car and they upgrade the performance of the car or something like that. Teslas, that happens all through a software update. So for instance, a couple months ago after this car came out, it had a certain amount of horsepower in it. One day, Elon decides to drop an update, updates the car and gives it like 20 more horsepower just in a update. So instead of waiting 4 years for that new car with that new engine that gives you 20 more horsepower, it just happens in an update. It's crazy. And also what's convenient about the car is the Supercharger network. So when you buy Tesla, you get 1,000 miles of free supercharging. So you don't have to pay to supercharge your car at the supercharger stations. But every time somebody buys a car with your referral link, you get that 1,000 miles over and over and over. And people buy Teslas like crazy. So I have my link down below. Don't forget to use it if you're gonna buy a Tesla, which I think you should. And that's another convenient reason about this car. Next would be the phone key. So from my phone, I can control the entire car from miles away. So say I forget to lock my windows and I'm in the middle of a meeting at the 14th floor of a business building with some executive. I could just under the desk real quick lock my doors. Or say it's cold outside and I'm in that same building and it's gonna take me about like 10 minutes to come downstairs and walk out to the car and it's freezing outside. You can heat the seats, you can heat the whole car with your phone. Some cars, they'll be like, oh yeah, I can do that because I have remote start. No, but with remote start, you have to be in a certain amount of feet from the car for the remote to even work or to even start the car. This, I can do it if I was in Africa if I wanted to. It's crazy. You can honk the horn, you can open the windows, you can open the trunks, you can even have the car back up and back forward for you all through your app. So say you're getting out of a parking lot and that space is so tight you can't even open your door. You just hit the button, the car backs out for you on its own, and you can get in your car all from your phone. That's another convenient thing that I like about the car. And also, the phone is your key. So you do not need a key. There's no physical car key that you have to stick in. There's no push the start button. It's all in your phone and it works through Bluetooth. So you just keep the phone in your pocket, put it in your bag, whatever, and just walk up to your car, opens up for you. It knows it's you. It won't do it for anybody else, any other phone, unless it's programmed to. Safety, perfect. Convenience, perfect. All right, so after convenience, we're gonna talk about the safety in this car, which is crazy also. There it is again, the word crazy. That's exactly what this car is, and that's exactly why I bought it. So listen, so the Teslas have a 5-star safety rating. And it's not just a 5-star safety rating, it's a 5-star safety rating from being hit from the side of the car, the front of the car, and the back of the car. That's big because no other car automaker has a 5-star safety rating that is that good from being hit on the side of the car, the back of the car, and the front of the car, and also the roof of the car. So it's a glass roof, but this glass is so strong that you can put another Tesla Model 3 on top of this car and it will not crush the glass. And that's just another crazy thing. Like, just think about that. It's a glass roof. So if something was to happen where, say, a truck in front of you, something happens where it's carrying these long, huge metal pipes, and it happens to fly in the air and smash the window. It's not going to do that in this Tesla because the glass is so strong. And also, another thing, safety, why I got another 5-star rating, is because the whole bottom of this car is the battery, and the battery is very heavy. It goes between the front and rear axles of the car, and it's so heavy that it gives the car a zero center of gravity, which weighs the car down to the road. So if the car was to get hit sideways from a truck or something, usually in a regular car, the car would turn over or maybe flip over. This car, it will flip about halfway and come back down. It will not roll over because the battery is so heavy, weighing the car down to the ground. That's another crazy safety reason. And people might not think that much about safety, but that's one of the big things that I was thinking about when buying this car, because it's going to be my only car and I want it to be safe. You know, things happen, it's crazy out there, and I just want to know and have the assurance that the car that I'm in and driving is safe if something happens, God forbid. Another thing that's I put in the safety category is having 4-wheel drive. So when the car has 4-wheel drive, it's able to get out of crazy situations faster than a 2-wheel drive car would. If it's icy on the road, 4-wheel drive will help you with the traction, stay straight, and prevent you from sliding off the road. Everyone knows what 4-wheel drive does, but the Teslas are different because each axle is individually controlled. So that means the car knows what wheel it needs to put power to when it's in a certain situation. That's crazy. So the car has 12 sensors all around the car and 7 cameras. So basically that means it can see everything around you at all times before anything happens. So when the car is driving itself, it can see up to 160 meters in front and in back. So it knows way ahead of time when something's gonna happen. If a car slams on its brake, it knows and it's gonna stop. This car. All right, next topic, maintenance. Huge one, crazy. Again, there's the word. All right, so Teslas do not have engines. They don't have gas engines. So you never need spark plugs. You never need oil change. You never need filters for your car. And it's crazy because when you have a regular car like that, you have to go service it every certain amount of miles or whatnot, because that's how it is. You just have to have your car serviced. You have to have the engine serviced. You have to have an oil change. Tesla, you do not have to bring the car ever to be maintenance. There's no moving parts where things wear down besides the wheels. It's just crazy that you never have to think about having an oil change again. When I had my Mercedes, I had to put the most expensive oil in that car all the time, every time, and it was like a $200 oil change every single time. Actually, if I bring it to Mercedes, it was $600 to do the oil, just an oil change and filter change. That's it. I never have to worry about that ever again. The other crazy thing is that if something does happen to your car and say you need to call maintenance for your car, the people from Tesla will actually send someone out from the Tesla dealership or Tesla headquarters or whatever, the nearest Tesla that's next to you, or a body shop that Tesla works with, and they will come to your house, to your job. If you're at the store stuck, they will come to the store and they will do what they can do on your car right there instantly. You don't have to ever bring Tesla to the dealership to be maintenance. It even says that when you buy the Tesla. The only thing that they want you to do, if you need to, is replace the filters for the air conditioner, or if your brake pads wear down, you would have to, you know, get your brakes replaced like a normal car. But the cool thing is about the brakes is this car uses regenerative braking. So I'll get to that later when we talk about driving, but briefly what it does is it brakes the car without using the actual brakes on the car. It uses electricity to brake the car, and when it does that, it regenerates energy back into the battery. So even getting your brakes changed is going to take way longer than it would having a regular car, because they're not even being used. So that's another thing about maintenance that I love. And you might be thinking, okay, there's no engine, what about the battery? There is a battery, there is a motor for the battery. What happens if something happens to that? So the warranty on this car is 8 years. This is stock from the dealership. When you buy any Tesla, it's 8 years for the battery. Ridiculous. So there you go. If anything happens to your battery, you have 8 years. I probably won't even have this car for more than 4 years, or usually I get rid of my cars every 2 years, but I love this car so much, I might have it 8 years, who knows. Okay, let's talk about security real quick. The list just goes on and on, guys. It's crazy. So it has a thing called Sentry mode. So say you ever park in the parking lot, I'm sure this happened to a lot of people before, and you come out from the store and you see a dent in your car or like a scratch on your car, and there's no one to be found. There's no one there, and you're like, how did this happen? So what happens is, when something happens to your car and it detects movement while it's parked, Tesla, the car, will record exactly what happened during that moment. And as soon as you get in your car, it'll say on the screen, hey, these 4 things just happened while you were away. Click the button and you can see exactly what happened to your car from what angle, and there's 7 cameras, so you're getting that person's face or that person's license plate. And not even that, say something happens and it's always recording. It's not just a dash cam. You have all these cameras from the side, front, back, recording, letting you know what happened, exactly happens. You need proof, you don't gotta worry about, oh man, let me get this camera and record real quick. No, it's been already recording, and that's another good thing about this car. The sensors and the cameras is a huge plus. There's no upgrading, there's no going to the store having to buy a dash cam. It's already included with the car, which is, again, here's the word, crazy. Also, with your car, like I said, you have to use your phone to get into the car, but you can also put a pin on the car so that if someone does take your phone and decides to come in the car, they have to put your PIN number into the system before the car will even do anything. Like, it won't even turn on if you don't have that PIN number. So it does have an alarm system, which is great. It notifies you through your phone when something happens, if the alarm goes off, wherever you are in the world, which is great. And it also has GPS tracking. So like, say, I don't know how this will happen, I don't think it can happen, but just if someone took your car or stole your car, you can track it live with GPS. And they're not going to be able to turn the GPS off because there's no module to rip off the car. It's built into the car. So anyone who steals your car is going to have a hard time getting away by the police. They're not going far. Just hopefully nothing happens to the car while they have it, if they ever get it. So that's another thing for security that I love, and the reason why I bought this car. All right, guys, last but not least, I saved the best for last. One of the biggest reasons why I bought this car was, like I said, I used to own an Alfa Romeo 4C, and that car was very fast. We used to drive with Lambos, Ferraris, and it would keep up with these cars. It was very fast. I took it to the track, and I missed that about my car, and that's why I wanted the Porsche, because I wanted another fast car. Not only fast, I wanted it to be really fun to drive, and I knew I wasn't going to get that with any other car besides a Porsche or another Alfa or a Lamborghini or something like that until I found the Tesla. So this car, it's the performance model. It goes 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Let me just read you a little list right now of all the cars that this car will beat off the line. It's crazy. Ready? It would beat a 2021 Audi R8, a Hellcat, a Bentley Continental GT, a BMW M4, a Corvette ZR1, a 2020 Ferrari Portofino, 2021 Jaguar F-Type Coupe, 2017 Lamborghini Huracan LP580, a 2019 Mercedes AMG GTR, Nissan GTR, 2020 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4, which is faster than the Porsche that I wanted to buy. Crazy, off the line, 3.1 seconds. No, none of these cars are beating things. So that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with this car, because it's so fast. And those who haven't driven in a Tesla, or who have driven in a Tesla but haven't driven in the performance model, it's way faster than the regular Tesla, stock Tesla. And it's so crazy, like your head gets stuck in the back of the seat instantly as soon as you hit the gas, because there's no engine working to spool up and prepare to take off. You hit the gas, electricity straight to the electric engines, and the car takes off 3.1 seconds. I cannot stress that enough, how fun, how fast it is, and I would not have gotten that if I got in the Porsche, which is crazy to think about. That's one of the reasons why I bought the car. But let's get into the other reasons about driving the car. So as you know, or may not know, Teslas can drive by themselves. So what that means is you can put the car in what is called autopilot. So say you're taking a long trip, you can make the car drive. It's like cruise control, but it's extra. It's more stuff than cruise control. So you can turn on the autopilot while you're driving. The car will stay in its lane. It will make the turns for you. It will turn wherever you got to go. If there's a car in front of you, it stays a certain distance between that car and the car behind it. If the car brakes in front of you, the car will brake for you. That's all included when you buy a Tesla stock. It's just crazy, and it'll go for miles. Like, you don't ever have to put your foot on the brake, foot on the pedal. You just drive the car and it's driving for you. If you get the $10,000 upgrade, or later this coming supposedly a subscription, the car will fully drive itself. So that means you can put in the address if you live in New York and you want to go to Florida and take a road trip. You can literally put the address in your car and just let the car do everything by itself. You never have to touch the wheel, which is crazy. Right now it's in beta, so they're still like testing it, but it's available. Like, you can do it if you want to do it. It will get off the exit for you. It'll put its blinker on. It'll stop at all the stop signs. It'll stop at the red lights. If there's a sign that says the speed limit's 35 miles per hour, the car's gonna stay in that speed limit. If a mile ahead the speed limit has another sign that says 70 miles per hour, the Tesla knows. It reads the sign and it goes that speed limit and keeps up with the traffic. Simple, crazy, I love it. Another thing about driving this car, the comfort of it. It's so smooth, and the handling is like a Porsche. I don't mean to make Porsche people mad, because Porsche are one of the best driving cars in the world, but when I had my Alpha, it wasn't powered steering, so I would be able to control the car without any assist. So when I turned the wheel in the Alfa Romeo, the wheels turned. There was no delay. This car, you put it in sport steering and it's that same feeling. If I have to get out of a certain situation super fast, this car does it, and I don't feel scared. In my C300, I felt scared even getting off the exits on the highway. It was crazy. This car, totally different feeling, and it's crazy to think that it's in a 4-door electric vehicle that can travel with your family in the back seats and just handle like a Porsche or a car on the racetrack. And speaking of racetracks, you can take this car on the track because it has track mode. Like, you can actually put on track mode and turn off all the stabilization, all the features, and just have you handle the car just like I would when I had my Alfa Romeo. Lastly, you can drive this car with one pedal when you're driving it. Once you take your foot off the gas, it automatically brakes. It sounds weird. It was weird at first, but I had to get used to it. It took me a couple hours actually to get used to it, honestly. So you take your foot off the gas and the car brakes by itself. So you never have to actually take your foot off the gas and press the brake. And once you get used to it, all you have to do is drive with one foot and let your other foot rest. I can't explain it. You have to experience it for yourself to really know what I mean. But I'm telling you, once you have it, and it's same thing that everyone else says. Like, when I was watching videos, everyone said one pedal driving is crazy. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm like, no way. No, it's not. Until now I have my Tesla, best thing that's ever happened to me. And that's pretty much it for the driving aspect of the car. So there you have it, guys. Those are all the reasons why I bought the Tesla over the Porsche. The majority of all these features I just wouldn't get, except for the fun factor with the Porsche. I hope this video was helpful, and I recommend you to go schedule a test drive at your nearest Tesla dealership, even if you aren't looking to buy one, just to have the experience for yourself. If you plan on buying one, make sure to use my referral code for 1,000 free Supercharger miles. The link is in the description. If you have questions, just drop me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned to future videos. I'm going to be taking the car to get a $2,000 ceramic coating, paint protection, and window tints. It will most likely be my next video. So in the meantime, check out the previous video of me picking up the Tesla from the dealership, and that's it. Peace, y'all.